CBS Sports HQ, Cooper KUPP on the trading block. The Rams wide receiver posted on X on Monday night that he was informed the team will be seeking to trade him immediately. KUPP has spent his entire 8-year career with the Rams, and he was the NFL Offensive Player of the Year in 2021 and MVP of Super Bowl 56. Looking at the message he posted on X earlier today, it reads, "I was informed that the team will be seeking a trade immediately and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for championships. I don't agree with the decision and always believed I was going to begin and end in LA. Still, if there's one thing that I've learned over the years, there are so many things that are out of your control, but it is how you respond to these things that will look back on and remember. I've taken so much pride in playing alongside my teammates for the LA community, so thank you for embracing my family and making this such a special place for us. 2024 began with one of the best training camps of my career. Preparations start now for 2025. Highly motivated, as healthy as ever, and looking forward to playing elite football for years to come. Love you guys, but coming for it all." We're now joined by CBS Sports NFL analyst Lige Douzable on the heels of the news. LA looking to find trade partners, sending Cooper KUPP elsewhere. And you think about Cooper KUPP, and if you go back to that 2021 season, the last time we saw him play a full 17 games. But since then, now looking to send him out the door. I want to ask you, do you believe this is maybe something that has to do with his contract? Is it maybe the emergence we've seen as of recent out of Puka Nacua? What do you think has brought us to this point?
Yeah, Ken, I think it's a combination of the two. He has a $29 million cap hit. He will be turning 32 next season before the season starts. And you talked about it. Since the 2021 season, where he was a Triple Crown winner, he has yet to play a complete 17-game season. I believe 9 games followed by 12 games and 12 games. So staying healthy and staying on the field has been an issue for Cooper KUPP. So when you look at that and then you see his cap number, this is why the LA Rams are willing to trade him. Let's not forget, the LA Rams have done this before, right? They traded for Jalen Ramsey, gave him a boatload of money. Then they traded him away, right? Because his cap number was too high. So this is what the LA Rams do. They develop young talent. You talked about the emergence of Puka Nacua. Jordan Whittington is another guy that was a late round draft pick who came on strong for them last year. So people forget Cooper KUPP was a 3rd round pick for them. So they develop really well, especially at the wide receiver position. So I just think the combination of the emergence of some of these young receivers added with the massive cap number that Cooper KUPP has, plus him not being able to stay healthy these last couple seasons, all went into this decision for the LA Rams.
So what could something that LA could be looking at in return, shipping off Cooper KUPP in that contract you're talking about?
Well, that's the big question mark, right? I think Cooper KUPP is going to have to restructure that deal because I don't know how many teams are going to be giddy to want to play a 32-year-old receiver $29 million for the upcoming season when he hasn't been healthy for 3 seasons. Now, I know in that letter he wrote on X, if I'm not mistaken, he said he's healthy as ever, but he hasn't been healthy on the field. So that's the question mark. And you see it right there, what's remaining on this contract, $29.8 million, so almost $30 million for next year and 27.3. So I think a team would have to do a restructure or sign him to a new extension. So if they do sign him to a new extension, the Rams probably aren't going to get much in regards to draft capital because this is going to be a new team signing him to a new deal. So not only do they have to sign him to a new deal, they're going to have to give up draft capital. So I could see somewhere in the range of a 3rd or 4th round pick, depending on what that restructure looks like or that new deal looks like.
Okay, you talk about potentially his new home. You're going to look to restructure or could be seeking a new extension. But you look at those teams that might have that type of cap space available. Who might be some landing spots?
Well, Kiana, he doesn't have to leave LA. How about the LA Chargers? Now, I know people will look at that and say they have a receiver that has a similar skill set in Ladd McConkey, but why not bring a veteran guy to kind of hone that skill set for those young receivers, a leader that they can follow and take into the future? So maybe he doesn't have to leave LA, Kiana, because the LA Chargers definitely need to get more explosive at the wide receiver position, but more specifically, they need consistency, and that's what Cooper KUPP has been. Now, again, he has been banged up, but when he is on the field, he has been the model of consistency. Another team that comes to mind, the Washington Commanders. Him and Scary Terry would make a nice combination as well. But again, I think it would come down to What is he willing to restructure? What would the extension look like? And then what the draft capital would take to get him from the LA Rams. So I think he could potentially stay in LA with the Chargers, or the Commanders make a lot of sense for Cooper Kupp.
Okay, we were talking about that 2021 season. You talk about the Triple Crown, and we recall going to the Super Bowl alongside his quarterback, Matthew Stafford. But we know they have that relationship. It's kind of like tried and true. You can always count on Cooper Kupp being open. But how do you think Matthew Stafford's probably taking this news now?
I mean, I think Matthew Stafford understands the business of football. He saw since that Super Bowl win, some of those vets have been shipped out or left in free agency. Von Miller left. Don't forget Jalen Ramsey got traded. Aaron Donald retired. So this is the part of football, right? A lot of people question going into this season, was Matt Stafford going to play or was he going to retire? So he went out there, played really well, helped the Rams get to the playoffs, and now he's going to lose the guy that he's been accustomed to throwing the football to on the outside for the last 3 or 4 years. But we've already seen him build that rapport with Puka Nacua, just like he built it up with Cooper Kupp. This is the NFL, Kiana, and it's tough. You lose friends on the team. That's the business side of football. Matt Stafford will be a consummate pro. Again, he still has Puka Nacua there. Jordan Whittington was coming on strong. And let's not forget, Les Snead and Sean McVay are one of the best, if not the best, at drafting young talent and developing it.
Yeah, 100%. That's what stuck with me. That you said, we look at what they've been able to do with those wideouts and how they can develop them. Unfortunately, I mean, sad probably for Matthew Stafford to see one of his tried and true guys to go, but also an opportunity for LA to see what is next. Lige Zuzable, we appreciate you stopping by with the insight as always. Thanks so much. Well, I think Puka Nacua feels like a lot of us. I think the NFL wants a word because the NBA's been taking over the trade news as of late. Us too, Puka. We thought it was just NBA trade season. No, NFL getting busy as well.
Let's start in the NFL. Star pass rusher Myles Garrett has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. He's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and he released a statement saying he's making the request because his ultimate career goal is to win a Super Bowl. Our Jonathan Jones reports that despite the request, Browns say they will not be entertaining offers. Elsewhere, Texans have hired Rams tight ends coach and passing game coordinator Nick Caley as their offensive coordinator. Caley has spent the past 2 seasons in LA working under Sean McVay. Prior to that, he was a longtime Patriots assistant from 2015 to 2022. Over to college hoops. Florida State head coach Leonard Hamilton will step down after the season. He's been in charge of the Seminoles since 2002, led FSU to 8 NCAA tournament appearances. He's the program's all-time wins leader. But despite the early success, Hamilton and the Noles haven't made the tournament since 2021. Florida State currently just 13-9, number 88 in the net rankings. Auburn remains number 1 in the AP poll for a 4th straight week. Tigers received all 62 votes for the 3rd straight week after taking down LSU on Wednesday and number 25 Ole Miss on Saturday. Next up for Auburn, a home test on Tuesday against Oklahoma.